The Toronto Blue Jays have been a terrible team in 2024. Currently sitting at the bottom of the AL East and 7 games below 500, the Jays have looked to the future. Calling up players such as Addison Barger, Spencer Horwitz, Davis Schneider, Ernie Clement, and Bowden Francis over the last 2 years, it is clear the Jays are in a youth movement. With half the season left, here is 5 more prospects that could debut in 2024. He'd probably already be up by now if he didn't get hurt, but that injury earlier on in the year really delayed him. I think it's unlikely that he comes up considering the injury. However, the Jays are sellers at the deadline. I think it's pretty safe to say there's a chance he comes back healthy and his current rehab is good, and then he joins the team in August after the deadline. Earlier on in the year, he looked great at spring training. He looked great earlier on in the year. Strikeouts were up, walks were down. So I really think, if not this year, Ricky Tedman's going to debut in 2025 for sure. The next prospect here, Allan Rochon. He's an outfielder, 24 years old, 2022 third-round pick. Rodon just got called up to AAA a couple weeks ago, and he had an incredible AA year so far. 270 average, 374 on base. This guy is an extremely good plate discipline guy. Low chase rate, low strikeouts, high walks. He kind of reminds me of what Kevin Biggio was in the minors. Now, I know Biggio didn't turn out to as much as we thought in the majors. However, this guy looks like a slapstick outfielder. Springer's getting older. He can't play the field every day. I mean, Rodon could be the temporary replacement for him. Plus defender, above average speed, really good bat. I mean, the bat-to-ball skills on Rodon I mentioned are great. So, if he tears up AAA this year, there's a chance in August this guy comes up. This third prospect, at the start of the year, was probably one of the hottest prospects in all of baseball, and that's Dominic Paul. First baseman, third baseman, and the nickname the Italian Stallion. He's a 24-year-old, 2021 fourth overall pick. Many thought this guy, like I said, would get called up the earlier because he was tearing the cover off the ball. He's cooled off since the start of the season, but still having a very good AAA season, hitting .230 and a .335 on base. And you might say those numbers aren't amazing, however, his real value is in his power. He's already slugged 11 home runs coming into July, and that's already half of his career total in the minors. Paul could provide a power bat for this lineup who desperately needs home runs. The fourth prospect here is not really a prospect, he's a little bit older, but that's Andrew Bash. Andrew Bash is a 25-year-old, 2019 30-round pick, which is crazy to say. The story behind this guy is incredible. He was a 30-round pick by the Angels, released, played indie ball for a couple of years, and then signed with the Jays in 2021. For a prospect system where their pitching is not the strong suit, Bash has been very good, especially in AAA. He's been their most consistent starter for the Bisons this year. He currently sits at a 3.69 ERA and a 1.3 WHIP. He's striking out more guys than he's walking so far, 53 strikeouts to 27 walks. I think Bash could provide some depth for this lineup, whether in the starting rotation or in the bullpen. Depending on some injuries and trades, he could come up. It'd be a really cool story for the Jays if this guy debuted. The last prospect who could debut in 2024 here is Connor Cook. Connor Cook's a fourth-round pick in 2021, and he started in high A ball and has moved up really quickly to AAA. ERA's been a consistent 4 throughout the minors, and he's a strikeout guy. His best pitch is definitely his slider, having a 60 grade in the minors, according to MLB.com. He's gotten 80 strikeouts in 40 innings, which is nice to see, so he's striking out 2 guys every inning. Again, so very similar to Bash. The prospects pitching-wise at the top end of the rotation are not amazing. They're not very deep. So Cook could be a pen guy / swing man. I kind of see him as a Ross Stripling for this team. He'd be a very nice story, and especially with this team who's going to sell a lot of prospects, or going to sell a lot of relievers, at the deadline. This guy could be a Jimmy Garcia replacement for sure.